هاي كيف شباب؟ معكم سباركليبتيك ومعي اكيد الاخ احمد نشيط، وبدنا نعمل هلا مقابله حصريه للعبه لايف ستراينج. Go ahead. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, hi. My name is Jean-Max Morris, and I'm the creative director at Donor Entertainment, as well as one of its co-founding partners.
You can't go home again, said Thomas Wolfe. But here I am.
Don't Thought Entertainment really, I know the world might have had some mixed jumbled views. I absolutely loved Remember Me.
Thank you.
Remember Me was one of the best games I played for one small reason: the creativity, the imagination, the potential that existed within this game is fascinating. What can we expect to see in regards to scope when it comes to Life is Strange?
You mean in terms of
ambition, you know,
ambition.
The characterization, because Remember Me had excellent characterization as well.
Okay, so really, I think the trademark of Donut is trying to build, you know, believable worlds and believable characters. In this case, you know, this is not sci-fi as it was in Remember Me. It's the real world, but there is a layer of supernatural also going into the mix. And you know, there's a lot of attention going into detail, lots of documentation. We want to get the mood right. The art is really top notch, and the storyline is also going to be very important. It's a game that has a much slower pace than Remember Me, because just like, you know, we like to do different things, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be episodic. But at the end of the day, you know, it's still the same studio that wants to do things differently.
Now this is the Chloe I remember. Always smiling and laughing. Not so much anymore.
How would you categorize this game? Is this an adventure game? Is this are there action sequences? So at its core, is it an adventure game? Because I noticed that there are conversation threads. You can choose your path. So would you categorize it as an adventure game?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, we call it an adventure game. We actually call it a modern adventure game, because what I mean by that is that we put more emphasis on character and story development than we do on puzzles. You know, so a little bit like games like The Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us have been doing. You know, this is really about the characters, the story, the choices, and having you immersed in that story that we want to tell you.
Joy still works at Two Whales Diner. Best damn burgers in Arcadia.
Can you tell us a bit about the Repercussions system?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Max has this power to rewind time, and every time that she makes a choice, she can rewind and change her choice. Okay, so every situation can go into different ways, and sometimes very different ways, like you saw in the demo. The thing is, we have different timelines for Repercussions. So we have the short term, the medium term, and the long term. So something that might look like it's a good choice in the short term might actually turn out for the worse in the future. So you're free to experiment with the scene, and you have this power, and the people around you are not aware of what you're doing, and you can really change things and discover different aspects of reality, of their personalities. But ultimately, you might be surprised of what happens eventually.
Can you finish the game without using any repercussions? As in, I chose this choice, I stand by my choice, and I'm going to go for it.
Yes. I mean, you'll have to use the rewind for some puzzles. So they're light puzzles, you know, not intricate ones. But in terms of sticking to your own choices, yes, you're perfectly free to, you know, just go through the game with that. Although, I must say, I can't say much about this right now, there is going to be, you know, times when things go bad, and there will be major repercussions. I can't say more today, but if you've seen movies like The Butterfly Effect,
absolutely,
there's always a butterfly effect.
There is similarities.
I haven't seen this place in 5 years. Seems like forever.
And in the demo that we just saw that we just saw played, could we have just maintained without going back and hiding in the closet and stuck with the fact that yes, the joint was not ours, and just moved on with the game as such?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There is one main storyline, and it's not gonna branch in 67 different directions. It is the same major storyline, but you get to discover different perspectives on it and different aspects of the characters, depending on your choices. Okay. So, for instance, the first choice would have led to this tension between Max and Chloe that would take a few more scenes to really untangle. So at some points it's gonna branch though, and eventually there are a couple of different endings to the game, but it's really a matter of perspective that you get on the story. Really, again, like games like the Telltale games.
Brr. I can feel autumn pushing out the sun.
Did you get inspired by Heavy Rain and Telltale games to make this game? Because it reminded me a lot of Heavy Rain, but with a different style, say a different approach to these type of games. So do you think that you got influenced by it?
Yeah, I mean the way we described the game when we were pitching it to publishers, and the way we still call it is a AAA indie. Okay, so might sound like a bad catchphrase, but it's actually, I think it's true. I mean, you have the AAA world and you have the indie world, and maybe the very indie world too.
I believe that. I believe that. Like for games like Valiant Heart and that, I consider them as indie. Most likely, for me, they are indie. But although like they're published by Ubisoft and PlayStation, and a game like that, it's considered indie because it's a different idea, it's a different concept.
Yeah, it's different, and so in terms of production values and budget and team, you have the AAA world, so Heavy Rain would be there. Then you'd have games like The Walking Dead, and you'd have Gone Home also, which is very different than even a small team. And I think we're right in the middle, and we're standing there, and it's indie because, as you said, it has this freshness of ideas. It's trying also to reproduce the mood of Tribeca, Sundance films. But it's also AAA in that we have 40 people working on it. There's major production values in terms of graphics, in terms of mocap, and we have a big publisher now behind us.
So, just a quick question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Your affinity for female protagonists. I love playing with female protagonists whenever given the choice. Is this a creative choice to only work with female protagonists, or just happen to be, the last two games with female protagonists?
Yeah, I mean, we had a female protagonist in Remember Me as well, Nilin. It's we're not trying to be different just for the sake of being different, and we're not trying to fix the industry. Although it might need fixing in some areas, and I think it's great that the press are talking about these issues. I don't know, we just look at the stories we want to tell, and we pick the characters that we want to use to tell those stories, and then we stand by those choices. And we're lucky enough that every time there is at least one publisher to believe in that choice. So, our next game might have a male lead, I don't know. But for now, we're very happy with having, Nilin, Max, Chloe, we love those characters.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
last
It was a
thing.
pleasure. Yeah, thank you very much.
One last thing.
Sorry, we've got too many media to
I'm just gonna ask one
One very quick.
Yeah.
So I noticed in the game that this is an alpha build, right?
It's nearing alpha.
Yeah, so that's why the syncing, like the lip syncing, wasn't that good, because I noticed that everything, the graphic, everything was amazing. I was just like,
Well, that's the indie part of the game also. There are things on which we're not going to be able to go as far as we went on Remember Me, and the lip sync is one of them. It will be polished compared to this build, but that's not one of the areas that will be...
it won't affect the game.
No, but you're right. You're right in noticing.
sure we've got loads of
Okay,
Thank you.
That took Chloe and me the whole day to draw. It's almost invisible now.